Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Halayim La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Barak HaKodash, which means all praises to Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. Bahasham means in the name. Yahweh Shai is the name of his only begotten Son, whom the world inwardly called Jesus Christ. Barak HaKodash means in the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, and the way we worship the Father and the Son. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to you brothers who are preaching the gospel in truth and in sincerity, always in charity. It's Brother Mathate from the Great Millstone Camp, the branch out in Des Moines. And you can see what's on your screen. GMS, the #1 camp on the planet. Video uploaded by the Apostle Tahar about 2 hours ago. What is the mark? GMS Truth is his page. And I'm gonna just play a little bit of it. Let's go.
Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect up there. Shalom to you all. I'm going to title this video GMS, the #1 Israelite group on the planet. So this was sent to me by Apostle Ramla, and this is a video put up by Saints of New Jersey, and it's the title here is breaking prisoners to be microchipped. Now I've been saying that. I said it in my last video. That's still currently live. That they're going to chip everybody by classes: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, nurses, doctors, social workers, government workers, people on public assistance, prisoners, and so forth. That's how they're going to do it. And what I said was, they're going to tempt you with, oh, you got 13 more years, but if you take the chip, you'll be out of here in 2 days. What do you think they're going to say? No, I'll take the 13 years, because that's Revelation 13 and 6. They don't know. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and play it. This is going to be fair use, because it's this site right here. Even though they put it up, I'm not saying it for them. I know they're not going to take my video down. But this is, you can actually go to it. What is it?
Right, and the page is Indisputable TYT. And it says major tech companies want prisoners micro C-hipped, man. You know, and something we've been talking about since we've been on YouTube, man. Start with All Apostles on down, even before YouTube. You know, Revelation, the 13th chapter. And the 16th verse, it says, and he calls it all, that he being the beast. You know, so this is Esau's power structure, his system. You know, he calls it all, and this word calls it construct, form, or fashion. You see? So the image of the beast, right, which is this way of life, you know, this system, this society as he established and he set it up, you know, it's going to tie into that cause. You see, because these people are used to living their life a certain way, you know. So that C-hip is going to be a way for them to go back into that normal life, or at least that's what they think, or that's what Esau is going to portray it as, you know, because this device is going to be looked at as a form of salvation, you know, as a form of normality. Because it's about to get real chaotic, man. And the men of Great Millstone, Start All Apostles on down, we've been here to tell you this. You know, that perilous times is coming. That an end is come. It is come. It watcheth for thee. It is come, according to the book of Ezekiel, the 7th chapter. You know, Ezekiel 21 says that a sword is sharpened and is furbished and is given to the hand of the slayer. See, we've been warning you people. This was about to come. Pestilence, plague, judgment, martial law, persecution. You know, you thought that was something when ICE was rounding up the Northern Kingdom and in certain so-called, you know, white men and white women were getting splashed in the streets. That was just a prelude or a foretaste of what's about to come, man. You know, a police state is about to be enacted. You see, it's about to be real bad here, man. And all around the world, but specifically here. As it is written in Revelation, the 6th chapter, that pale horse is riding in, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth. The fourth part of the earth is talking about over here in this Western hemisphere, man, over here in the America. You see that? And these people are not used to these conditions that's about to hit this place. As it is written in Isaiah the 47th chapter. This place has lived so deliciously and freely and carelessly. And all that is about to go away real quick, man. You know, on a sudden, you see how it is happening gradually. The gas prices going up and the price of living, you know, energy, water bill, light bill, you know, your rent, you know, price of groceries, all those things, you know. But it's gonna come a day where that gas is gonna be $12, $13, man. You know, where a carton of eggs is gonna be $25, $30. You see, because of hyperinflation, because of the value of the dollar is gonna crash. And not only that, but the supply chain and the shipping lanes, all that's gonna come to a halt. So the things that are available is gonna be, you know, unaffordable, man, to you everyday people. And these are all prophecies that we've touched over multiple times, over and over and over again. So when they roll out that new system, which is that CHIP, it's going to be looked at as a way back to normal. Now, I can watch my NBA finals and Super Bowls and goddamn, you know, CBS and Fox News and whatever the hell, man. You'll be able to shop, go to the bar, get you a drink. I can vote. I'm voting Democrat this year because then these Republicans and these people just go back and forth, man. You know? But that's that construct. You see? That's how this devil has set up this society. So these people have become, you know, dependent upon it, man. So anyway, Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma. You go into this word charagma, an imprinted mark, a stamp, thing carved, which this goes into the actual device, right? You go to the root word is charax, which goes into the instrument that's used to implant the device. Then you go to the root word of that, and it is grapho, which goes into the information, the data that's going to be on that device. This is why they're establishing all these data centers. You see? Because they need those centers to hold all the information that's going to be collected from these devices, man. In their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, which they're all saying the same thing. See, you people that's trusting in Egypt, that's tied to this system, you know, you trust in this society, you're following after the image, you gonna take that CHIP, man. You know, so as you could, you know, there's videos, you know, that brothers were responding to. You know, the prisoners, major tech companies propose inserting micro CHIPs into prisoners. So what I had did was I had asked the regular AI Google, recent articles concerning micro CHIPing humans. Articles and research on human micro CHIPing center on three primary developments: brain-computer interfaces, which is BCIs, for medical assistance; subdermal RFID NFC tags for corporate or personal convenience; and preemptive state legislation protecting worker privacy. It says medical advancements in brain-computer interface. Tech startup Neuralink successfully implanted its first wireless brain CHIP into a human patient. The device records and transmits brain signals to decode movement, intentions, and I hate when this thing refreshes, man, because it don't have the points and the things that it had when I read it at first. But let's read it anyway. It says the device records and transmits brain signals to decode movement, intentions, aiming to let paralyzed individuals control smartphones or computers using thoughts. Expanding neurological capabilities. According to a Time report, companies like Science Corp and Paradromics are developing competing brain implants. These devices focus on restoring speech and giving stroke or ALS patients control over appliance, wheelchairs, and communication apps. Injectable bioelectronics. Research out of MIT introduces microscopic wireless bioelectronics capable of traveling through the circular system via a simple injection. These microimplants can autonomously self-implant in specific brain regions to treat debilitating diseases, eliminating traditional surgical risks, man. You see that? Subdermal RFID NFC technology in corporate use. Biohacking trend growth. Subdermal entry involves inserting rice-sized passive transponders under the skin, usually between the thumb and forefinger. Companies in the forehead or in the hand. Companies like Dangerous Things mass market do-it-yourself injectable kits for tech enthusiasts. Daily small application. In tech hubs like Sweden, thousands of people utilize these subdermal implants as contactless keys, office badges, and electronic wallets. Surveillance debates. Tech companies are holding roundtables with government entities to explore using micro CHIPs to track and monitor prisoner populations. And that's, the information that brothers are responding on. Legal bans and workplace protection, which these legal bans, once it's implemented, man, these things ain't gonna matter. Preemptive legislation action. Over 14 U.S. states, including Washington, California, Indiana, and Mississippi, have passed official bans prohibiting companies from making human micro-C-hipping a mandatory employment condition. But they ain't say nothing about the country. For identification purposes, just like how everybody has a birth certificate and a social security card, right? Well, that birth certificate and social security card is going to become electronic, which is going to be rice-sized and it's going to be placed in your hand. And there ain't no law against that. Analysts at the Carnegie Council note that while forced employee micro-C-hipping has not occurred in the U.S., lawmakers are proactively acting against function creep and unauthorized corporate data collection. Medical risks and public hesitation. A clinical review published by PMC outlines notable physical risks, including chip migration, tissue inflammation, infection, and interference with MRI equipment. And what does that sound like, man? It's Revelation 16:2. And the first went and poured his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the charagma of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. You see that? And you go into this word sore, a wound, especially a wound producing a discharge or pus, a sore, and ulcer. You go into this word ulcer. An ulcer is an open sore on the skin or a mucous membrane that occurs when the protective tissue erodes. The most common types of peptic ulcers, sores in the stomach or up the skin ulcers. It usually explains by a break in the skin. Yep. It said it can occur through a break in the skin. Yep. So it's a physical thing, man. And this is what John seen on the island of Patmos, right? Societal viewpoints published by GovTech show strong positive public support for medical CHIPs applications, but heavy resistance toward employer monitoring and general lifestyle trackability. So that's why in the book of Revelation it says they shall deceive them that have taken the C-hip, man. You know? So they're going to say it's for your convenience, right? They're going to say it's for medical, which the chat, this ain't the chat, but the Google AI asked, was my research for medical, legal, or technological? So I said medical and technological. Medical and technological developments in human micro-C-hipping have advanced rapidly through AI-integrated brain-computer interfaces, minimally invasive surgical methods, and smart subdermal biomaterials. The transition from lab concepts to verified medical tools has achieved major milestones, resulting in expanded clinical trials in the world's first commercial regulatory approvals. You hear that? Look how close we is, man. High fidelity invasive brain computer interfaces. Direct cortical implants focus on decoding motor intention with maximum signal clarity. Recent breakthroughs highlight accelerated real world deployment. Neurotech firms have shifted from single digit feasibility studies to global multi-patient clinical trials. As of mid-2026, Neuralink has successfully implanted its N1 C-hip featuring 1,024 ultra-thin electrode threads into 12 human patients to read and write neural signals with millisecond accuracy. While global attention often rests on U.S. clinical milestones, international markets are moving even faster. In March 2026, earlier this year, China's National Medical Products Administration granted the world's first commercial market clearance for an invasive wireless BCI. Developed by Neuracle Medical Technology, the device is now commercially cleared to treat severe spinal cord injuries. So over in China, people are receiving the C-hip, man, so that they can, function. Speech synthesis and typing. Clinical, and it says it's on what did it just, where did I just read that at? It's commercially cleared. Yep. So it's cleared by the, But anyway, clinical. Let me verify that. Commercial clearance refers to the legal right to use copyrighted assets such as music, video footage, photography, or software for advertising, corporate, or revenue generating process. It verifies that the creator has been paid and that all rights holders have authorized the material for public distribution. Clinical data published in Nature Neuroscience highlighted the first rapid calibration neural prosthesis capable of translating thoughts into text and synthesized speech. Paralyzed individuals are now communicating at speeds comparable to natural typing. So what's that? Neural prosthesis? Neural prostheses are a series of devices that can substitute a motor, sensory, or cognitive modality that might have been damaged as a result, right? Minimally invasive endovascular interfaces. Endovascular surgery is a minimally invasive procedure performed inside blood vessels to treat conditions like aneurysms, blockage, and vascular disease. Surgeons access the vascular system via a small puncture, usually in the groin, and uses catheters, wires, and imaging guidance to repair vessels from the inside out. So minimally invasive endovascular interfaces. To eliminate the trauma, tissue damage, and neuronal death associated with open brain robotic surgeries, engineers are mastering middle path interfaces. The stent road framework. Companies like Synchron are utilizing the body's natural vascular highway, meaning your blood flow. Their stent-like micro implant enters through the jugular vein and rests securely in a blood vessel next to the brain's motor cortex. Vessel wall signal decoding. Though the blood vessel wall dampens the signal slightly compared to direct brain tissue penetration, it entirely removes open cranium surgical risks. Under FDA breakthrough device designation, patients are successfully using these endovascular C-hips to draft emails, browse the web, and control smart tech. So these things is happening, man. AI-driven signal translation. The raw data generated by 1,000 firing neurons is incredibly noisy and difficult to translate. The technological catalyst making micro C-hips useful is deep learning, adaptive real-time calibration. Modern micro C-hip implants rely on custom machine learning algorithms that adapt dynamically to individual users. And this is how AI is incorporated into all this, man. Salakia. Neural decoding. Instead of requiring months of patient practice, AI models analyze complex sequence data to recognize specific firing patterns instantly. This turns an abstract neurological intent into clean digital commands in real time. Smart subdermal biomaterials and passive micro C-hips. Outside of neurological applications, the technology powering under the skin C-hips placed in the where? The hand has transitioned from basic RFID tags to advanced multi-use tools, MEMS and photolithography. Photolithography is a microfabrication process that uses light to transfer geometric patterns from a photomask onto a light-sensitive chemical called a photoresist, which is applied to a substrate like a silicone wafer. It acts as the nanoscale photocopier of the semiconductor industry, enabling the mass production of billions of transistors on a single micro C-hip. The photolithography cycle is repeated dozens of times to build the intricate multi-layered vertical architecture of modern microprocessors and memory C-hips. So it says utilizing micro electromechanical systems, which is MEMS, and precise photolithography, manufacturers are layering silicon and biocompatible ceramics into sub-millimeter scales. And here go the articles concerning it. Micro C-hips in medicine, current and future applications, which this was published June 7, 2016. You see, over 10 years ago. Just made 10 years. What's today? The 15th? Yep, made 10 years last week. So how far advanced are they now? With the objective of improving efficiency and mobility, device manufacturers incorporate chemicals or drugs into medical implants. Using multiple reservoirs of discrete drug doses, micro C-hips represent a new technology capable of on-demand release of various drugs over long periods of time. Herein, we review drug delivery systems, how micro C-hips work, recent investigations, and future applications in various fields of medicine. You see that? Mainstream medtech integration. Industry projections highlight a surge in AI-driven diagnostic implants and autonomous monitoring solutions. Subdermal transponders are moving beyond basic contactless payments to host encrypted personal health records. Ain't this grapho? Automate emergency medical alerts and provide remote chronic care. Woo! Summary of current tech landscape. The integration of deep learning and advanced surgical robotics has turned human micro C-hipping into a verified medical technology capable of restoring communication, mobility, and sensory independence. You see that? So, Great Millstone were the ones to tell you, man. So I just wanted to read that and hit this precept. And if the Spirit don't give me anything else, we're going to close out with this. This is Ezekiel 33 and 30. Also, thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. See, you people is watching these videos, but you ain't examining yourself. You ain't taking heed to the instructions, the counsel, the advice that's being given. You know, you ain't applying the obedience of the scriptures, man. You know, you ain't preparing yourself mentally, spiritually for the return of our Lord Yahweh Shai and for the time like none other. You hear the words, but they will not do them. For with their mouth they show much love, but their heart goeth after their covetousness, man. You set up your idol in your heart. This is the point, though. Nope, I'm sorry. Verse 33 is the point. It says, and lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song. See, we're nothing but entertainment to you people. Of one that hath a pleasant voice and can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but they do them not. This is the point. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. So you heard it here, man, from the men of Great Millstone, starting with all apostles on down. You know, we warned you, we told you, you know. So, Lord, will I hope this was edifying to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Forgive me, Spirit, to do this lesson. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to you, brothers who are preaching the gospel in truth and in sincerity, always in charity. Shabbat Shalom.